2025 Union County Board of Education School Board meeting order. Motion for approval of the agenda.
Second.
All in favor? Let us stand and we'll be led in our pledge of allegiance by Piedmont High School.
States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Hold. Out. Right. Ice. Forward. Out.
Thank you. We want to welcome aboard our new Master Sergeant. Let's give her a hand to the Piedmont students. We're now going to be in the hands of Reverend Patrick for the John H. Crowder Service Award.
For over 3 decades, John H. Crowder dedicated his life to supporting Union County youth. In honor of his enduring contributions and lasting impact, the Union County Board of Education presents the John H. Crowder Service Award every month to recognize an exceptional high school student who actively contributes to the school and community. Recipients of this award excel academically and possess a well-established track record of community involvement. Tonight, we award the October John H. Crowder Service Award to a Piedmont High School senior. Callie Hodge is ranked in the top 5% of her class and has successfully completed many honors, advanced placement, and college-level courses through South Piedmont Community College during her time in high school. She is a member of the National Honor Society, serving on the leadership team this year, and serves as a senior class treasurer. Callie is a varsity cheer captain and was named an All-American in both 11th and 12th grades. She has a strong desire to help others and has committed a lot of her time to serving her school and community. At school, she has participated in toy and coat drives through the Family, Career, and Community Leaders of America, tutored elementary students with the SOAR Club, and volunteered as a middle school cheer coach, mentoring athletes twice a week through the season. Beyond school, Callie has dedicated more than 240 hours over the past 3 years as a teacher in the child care department at First Baptist Church of Indian Trail. Through the church, she and her family also traveled to the North Carolina mountains and provided meals during Hurricane Helene Relief Day. In addition, she volunteers with Cameron's House of Hope, which supports children affected by substance abuse. Last year, she organized a group of friends to spend a day playing sports and crafting with children there. Callie plans to attend a 4-year university to study design, though she is still exploring which field of design best suits her interests. Board members and those who are gathered today, please join me in congratulating Callie Hodge as the October 2025 recipient of the John H. Crowder Service Award.
We'll now have our Influencers Award led by Ms. Tahira Stalvey. Thank you.
Good evening.
Good evening.
We're excited excited to celebrate two outstanding employees who have been named UCPS Influencers for October. This program recognizes the dedication, passion, and exceptional work ethic of UCPS staff members who go above and beyond daily. What makes the UCPS Influencers program special is that these honorees are nominated by our staff, students, families, and community members, the very people who witness their impact every day. I am honored to present Marcus Clyburn, a school counselor at Forest Hills High, and Jeremy Evans, an instructional technology facilitator in our Technology Services Department. I will now invite the nominators to the podium to read the submission and recognize their honorees' accomplishments. Mr. Porter, please come forward.
Good evening, I am Adrian Porter, the principal at Forest Hills High School. I have the honor of reading a nomination from Matthew Yarde, a proud Forest Hills High School graduate who couldn't join us this evening since he lives out of state. Mr. Clyburn, you're already here, so you already came forward. Mr. Clyburn has been truly a great mentor for me. As a former student and a former participant in his foundation, I have truly learned what it means to be a man. When I went off to college in New York, I was fearful and afraid as I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know anyone that I could really talk to. However, anytime I called Mr. Clyburn, he always answered and always left a conversation of encouragement. He even went the extra mile to meet me virtually when I felt overwhelmed. On days when I thought about quitting college and coming home, talking with Mr. Clyburn reminded me that I could do anything if I put my mind to it. He would cry with me, pray with me, and encourage me. My mentorship experience with Mr. Clyburn was nothing but positive. Mr. Clyburn truly helped me with making some hard decisions and cope with stressful times. Thanks to him, I've been able to see improvements within myself in some of the areas I've struggled with the most. I am pleased to say I have completed my bachelor's degree and will be walking across that stage I never thought that I would make it do. I owe a majority of that to Mr. Clyburn. So I want to personally say thank you, Mr. Clyburn, for all you have done, not just for me, but the many students you have helped on a day-to-day basis.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm Renee Cunningham, a media coordinator at Newtown Elementary and one of the Media PLC leads for Union County Public Schools. Mr. Evans is here and we would like to recognize him. And I have my colleague Jen Williams, who is also a media lead, and we are really giving this on behalf of our team. Jeremy truly embodies the attitude of helping others and working together as a team. He has the unique position of supporting a myriad of technology accounts and platforms for students and staff across the district. Despite the numerous emails, Microsoft Team posts, and calls he must get a day, I have never had a message go unanswered. He always has a pleasant tone and a positive attitude. And even if the issue is not something he can directly resolve, he will work to find a solution and follow up with others in the district. There have been numerous times when Jeremy has made himself available to brainstorm a solution, offer step-by-step instructions, and immediately take care of tasks to make everyone more connected. In the 21st century, where everything has an account, password, and you're literally lost without access to your account, Jeremy does everything he can to get issues resolved swiftly and with a smile. I
I will now read the UCPS Influencers Proclamation from the Union County Board of Education and Dr. Houlihan. Whereas the Union County Board of Education values the hard work of each employee within the district. Whereas performance is an essential part of district operations. Whereas Marcus Clyburn and Jeremy Evans exemplify the performance, dedication, and teamwork essential to the success of the district and its students. Now, therefore, we, the Board of Education for Union County Public Schools, and Dr. Andrew G. Houlihan, Superintendent, hereby proclaim Marcus Clyburn and Jeremy Evans as the UCPS influencers for the month of October 2025. Congratulations.
Thank you to our influencers and thank you to the presenters as well as Ms. Calvert. Thank you. And thanks for all the babies tonight. All right, I think we've transitioned wonderfully. Next on the agenda tonight is our public comments. Public comments guidelines. Up to 60 minutes have been allocated for public comments at each regular board meeting. The board does not respond to public comments, though members may ask the chairman to request clarification. Priority to speak is given to district residents, parents, students, and employees. Speakers must be present when called or forfeit their opportunity. Only individuals who have signed up may speak. Time may not be transferred or shared. Each speaker is limited to 3 minutes. And I want to say for the most part, y'all be real good at the 3 minutes. The board will not hear in open session, 1, complaints about the performance of school personnel, 2, personnel issues, or 3, confidential student issues. Should a speaker wish to seek information or share items that may not be shared during public comments, members of UCPS cabinet staff are available to address your concerns or provide information. Cabinet staff members are seated at the table to my left. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 143-318.17, any individual who willfully interrupts, disturbs, or disrupts an official meeting may be directed to leave by the presiding officer, in this case, myself, the chairman. Failure to comply with such a directive may result in removal from the meeting and could constitute a Class 2 misdemeanor. Please be advised that any member of the public engaging in such conduct will be removed from the meeting. Continued disruptive behavior may result in a review of eligibility to attend future meetings. And I want to thank all those that signed up to speak tonight. First at bat is Christian Velasquez.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I'm here again to address the charge policy signed back into effect this year regarding alternate meals. My purpose in speaking tonight is to provide some clarification about both the origins of the student debt and the effects of this policy. There is a notion that is held that the student debt in previous years was mainly comprised of things such as chips, cookies, or other snack items. This is immensely inaccurate. Supplemental sales such as chips, cookies, beverages, and other premium items accounted for less than 10% of that student lunch debt. By and large, the source of that $300,000 student lunch debt was exactly that, students' lunches. This was most frequently found in areas with large percentages of families that are just above the threshold to qualify for free or reduced meal benefits. Additionally, it has been said that this policy will reduce the debt as the alternate meal has a food cost roughly of half of the lunch meal price. This is inaccurate as per the policy, school nutrition services must offer an alternate meal at no cost to the student. This means that the debt is merely shifted, as school nutrition only receives the federal reimbursement of 53 cents for that meal, and is left to pay the remainder of the food costs, additional labor costs, as well as the cost of the original meal that may have been taken from that child. Yes, due to this policy, meals are absolutely being taken from our students in the cafeterias. Middle and high school students do not come to the line with the teacher to remind them about the alternate meal. And quite often, our elementary school teachers simply do not have the time and their already very busy workday to monitor their students' lunch day. Every day, there are children who go through the line, choose their meal, and instead have to face the shame of having their meal taken and being offered the alternate. At this point, the student frequently declines and goes without eating. I have witnessed this myself at multiple schools, including today. A student came through the line with a meal and was past the cutoff. The student then went to the office after receiving the alternate meal, who told him to come down and try again. I then had to explain the policy to this visibly upset and hungry child, who had now had their food taken from them twice. At the end of the day, we found their alternate meal thrown on the floor in the corner of the dining room. This child did not eat lunch today. On an average day this year, we have about 180 students at the cutoff in meal charges, while contrarily, we only serve 23 alternate lunches per day. That is 157 students that may not be eating lunch at all. As I stated the last time I spoke before you all, this debt is a minuscule variance, 0.066% of the funding allocation approved last November. Is that really worth the shame, embarrassment, and possible hunger that our students face? Surely, as community leaders, the board and UCPS can collaborate to find a solution, whether that is reviewing budget allocations, working with the community to find a way to help our kids in need, or calling upon our lawmakers to take action on this issue. There are options that do not harm our children. Thank you for your time.
Our next speaker tonight is Heather Perry.
Good evening, Chair, Superintendent, and members of the board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. Since the start of this school year, I have seen firsthand how the policy of the charge limit and alternative meals is affecting our students and staff. I'd like to briefly share a few of those experiences. At an elementary school, a principal shared with me that a student was only eating a bag of dry cereal at lunch every day. That child goes to the nurse in the afternoon, so they have a headache. That's not helping our children. This child doesn't even go through the line to get a lunch or an alternate lunch. They just eat a bag of dry cereal because that's what they have at home. Last week, a cashier had to take away a tray from a kindergartner. His toasted ham and cheese, potato smiles, and oranges were replaced with a cold sandwich, carrots, craisins. He did get to keep the milk that he chose. Trays are being taken away at all levels. While cashiering at a high school, a student showed me proof that they had paid their debt, only to find out it was on Infinite Campus and it was last year's debt. The money is being collected. It might only be a couple $100, a couple $1,000, but the meal from last year is being paid. This child still got an alternative meal because there was no money on their account. We showed them the correct app, PaySchool Central, that their family could go on and put money on their account so they could eat lunch. Well, next page, sorry. These are not isolated incidents. The school nutrition managers and employees can share more. Many families across our county are struggling. It's not the students' fault when lunch accounts run dry, yet they're the ones to go hungry and feel ashamed. Many stop coming through the line and just go hungry. As of today, 1,000 of our students who were receiving free meals under last year's application are no longer eligible. Tomorrow is rollover day. Our staff have tried to let these parents know that tomorrow they will be adding to the debt. They will be making the choice next week if they want to eat alternative breakfast and lunch. We talk about alternative lunch a lot, but there is alternative breakfast also. School meals are just not food. According to No Kid Hungry, students who eat breakfast at school score 17.5% higher in math At this meeting last month, you guys talked about how great your scores were. Let's keep them high, let's feed our kids. 1.5 more days are attended by these kids because they can, the hungry kids can't focus and they certainly can't thrive. This isn't about policy. I would like to propose angel funds as they also do at Wake.
Our next speaker is Carrie Milner.
Good evening.
Good evening.
My name is Callie Milner. I'm a UCPS parent, and I'm here tonight to tell you about the formal complaint that has been filed with NCDPI regarding UCPS's long-standing violations of federal disability law and how it administers the COGAT, or gifted identification. This is not a new issue. For at least 22 years, UCPS has followed a policy that explicitly allowed certain accommodations, such as extended time, for English language learners, while prohibiting those same accommodations for students with disabilities, even when the test publisher itself permits them, and even though federal law requires them. The result has been devastating. According to NCDPI, out of more than 6,000 AIG students in UCPS, only 33 have disabilities, among the lowest rates in North Carolina and the country. This is not a statistical fluke. It is the predictable outcome of a discriminatory policy. The administration did make some changes. They largely functioned to shield the administration from liability. Administrators now say there is no policy, and that schools should simply consult the publisher for accommodations. That sounds reasonable. It isn't. There's just one example of why. UCPS allows schools to decide, based on scheduling convenience, whether to administer the COGAT in 1 day or over 3 days. But a 1-day administration disproportionately harms students with disabilities such as ADHD. The administration claims these students can request 3-day testing as an accommodation, but 3-day testing is not an accommodation. It is the standard administration recommended by the publisher. When schools consult the publisher, they will not find it listed under accommodations because it isn't one. The result is that students who need a fair testing environment are denied it. This is not a technical oversight. It's not one parent on a mission. It is a systemic civil rights problem that has denied thousands of students their rightful access to academic programs for decades. You've likely already been briefed on the complaint by Dr. Houlihan and Ms. Morris. What you probably didn't hear is that I spent 4 months trying to resolve this collaboratively. I reached out repeatedly, I offered solutions, I asked for the operative publisher guidelines, they were withheld. When I asked for clarification, I received statements that were demonstrably false, and I documented those exchanges. This complaint did not have to happen. It was entirely avoidable. So when you speak with the administration about this, I urge you to ask the question any reasonable person would ask. This could be resolved months ago. Why wasn't it?
Thank you. Thank you. Our next speaker is Ms. Reagan Shaw.
Good evening, I'm Reagan
Good
Shaw,
evening.
speaking for the Union County branch of the NAACP. Last general meeting, this board and its administration had a celebration of its score reports, which included UCPS reaching the #1 spot in the state. We applaud the growth that has happened in some of our schools. However, growth only accounts for 20% of this designation, making much of the #1 ranking due to raw test scores. Raw test scores are heavily influenced by economic affluence. If this district's team were to swap places with a county that had higher rates of poverty, the result would be much different. There is a dangerous narrative that arises when we celebrate county by county rankings. The least state-funded counties are the rich ones, and they tend to perform the highest. Privilege floats the system. The danger is that uninformed citizens draw the wrong conclusion, which is that more can be done with less. That flawed philosophy guides them in the voting booth, undercutting important investments that need to be made in our underserved communities. This voting behavior exacerbates the achievement gap year on year. In 2021, the Citizens Advisory Committee provided the board a number of recommendations. I want to focus on 3 of these tonight. Number 1, when it comes to accountability results, tell the whole story, not just the successes. Discuss the details of struggling schools, including how much is spent per pupil. Those schools should be centered in your analysis, not an auxiliary topic. Number 2, analyze private spending, such as booster programs, PTA donations, so we can see where equity funding gaps exist. Number 3, hire a diversity, equity, inclusion officer to ensure the above objectives, including others, are implemented. Unfortunately, none of those recommendations were enacted. The whole story is still not being told when discussing performance information. A whopping 71% of students at Monroe High School are not grade level proficient. That's exactly the same non-proficiency rate as in 2021 when the Citizens Advisory Committee was dismissed. That lack of progress is an educational emergency, and it's not just Monroe High. Ridiculously low outcomes are happening in other East Side schools. It doesn't have to be this way. North Carolina is 48th in the nation in per pupil spending for public schools, while private schools now get billions of our tax dollars. This educational crisis deserves ample discussion in the general meeting. Instead, discussions about struggling schools were relegated to a curriculum committee meeting via Zoom. In terms of private estimate parity, the NAACP did the calculations. Some West Side schools are receiving $500,000 in private donations in a year, while some East Side schools get 0. Please, we ask you to work with us to tackle the funding challenges of our district head on. The board and administration should publicly advocate against the defunding of our public schools. 2 months into the school year, the General Assembly can't even be bothered to form a budget in order to fund our public schools and teachers properly. When the funding situation is dire, it is the most vulnerable who suffer the brunt of this neglect. So sadly, it is not all a success story in Union. Let's change that. Thank you.
Our last speaker tonight is Ms. Jen Sanders.
Good evening.
Good evening.
I was able to sign up, there we go. Okay, so Jen Sanders. So I saw that Ms. Merrill had wanted her people to know that the county commissioners are not responsible for the teachers being upset about their stipend. I'm hoping that you guys will address that tonight. I'm assuming you will. They spent about 25 minutes talking about it at the meeting last night, and some feathers were ruffled. So I also understand that we want to be modern, and now that we're #1 in the state, I guess it's on brand, but we are curious about how much the new branding had cost the county, mostly because of what the county commissioner said yesterday, is our teachers are still lacking the funding and their pay. So I'm not sure it didn't have a really good public outlook when all the money to rebrand, from the badges to the beautiful tablecloths to the website, it all costs a lot of money. And so as we know, our teachers are struggling there. And then I also wanted to piggyback a little bit on what our 2 speakers had talked about with the food. Now, you know, we've been coming for years, and we always talk about equality for all. And in particular, why I started coming here was for our rainbow kiddos. And, you know, when they talked about how kids won't even go to the line to get food because they're embarrassed, that is why it's so important to be inclusive for all. Because there are kids that won't even use the bathroom at school because they don't feel comfortable. My kid being the #1, you know, and I'll always advocate for all kids. But that brings it back to why it's so important for everyone on the school board to advocate for all kids. Whether you agree or don't agree, it shouldn't be about a kid getting a bag of cereal from home because they're too embarrassed to go through the line. And it shouldn't be about a kid's personal identity about whether they should or shouldn't use the bathroom at school. And it shouldn't be about what book that they pull out of the library, because we understand that the teachers and the librarians now are being asked to pull their books from their classrooms right now to do an inventory. Again, it's about being inclusive for all. So, and then one last thing, since I have an extra few seconds. when you guys are up here and I know that you do behind the scene meetings, and you have the online committee meetings and all the good stuff. And we watch those meetings, you know, they're all live. But when you have a couple minutes to be out here and talking, it would be really great if you guys could share with the community what you're doing, like about the rebranding, or, you know, about things that you're discussing that, you know, I know legally there's certain things you can and can't say, but transparency is really, really important. So, thank you.
Thanks to all those that did public comments tonight. Motion to approve open session meetings of September the 4th.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Motion to approve consent agenda.
So moved.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Jim, I'm sorry, just a quick question, since it was brought up, can we ask Tyra what was involved in the cost for the rebranding of our, UCPS, because she, you know, so she can just kind of clarify what that was and everything at some point in this evening, so she can kind of, is that okay?
Yeah.
When it's time, I'm just saying, whenever she wants, but if she can, you know, kind of, address that.
Yeah, well, we can, talk about that in board comment.
That's fine, just when she has a moment, we can address that. Thanks.
Now we're going to, hear from our superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Good evening, board. October is National Principals Month, and tonight I would like to set a few moments aside to honor our school leaders and recognize them for all that they do for our students, staff, and community. I want to personally thank all of our principals. They lead, they coach, they provide safe environments for students and staff. They work with parents and community members, create cultures for high-quality learning, and so much more. Our principals do a phenomenal job of educating our kids and supporting our teachers. I want them all to know that I commend each of you and I salute you this month, and would ask that we all give all of our amazing principals a big round of applause to say thank you. Second, I would like the general public to know, if you did not recognize, we have recently opened 2 brand new schools that are beautiful in our county. One of them is East Elementary. We are very fortunate to have open slots still for our pre-K program at that beautiful school. We have 2 NC pre-K classes. There are several slots still to be filled. Classes will follow the school bell schedule, which is from 7:30 to 2 p.m., and breakfast and lunch are provided at no charge. Families may apply online at the Alliance for Children website or pick up a paper application at the East Elementary front office. All required documentation listed must be submitted, and we would ask that anyone in our communities that has a family that might have a child that's pre-K and not enrolled, please share this news. Third, there is still time to take our 2026-27 calendar poll. This poll will close on October 15th at 11:59. The link is located on the UCPS homepage and on all school web pages. And finally, we are preparing for one of our favorite events, the Holiday Card Contest. Information about this art contest will go live this Friday. Submissions are due on October 24th, and our winners will be announced at a celebration on Friday, December 5th. We look forward to receiving the wonderful art submissions that we get every year from our students. Board members, this concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Next on the agenda is, I'm going to need to know which board members would like to go to this upcoming NCSBA in this coming November, next month. I've looked at my calendar and I can make it. And we need 4. So is there anyone else that would like to go?
I'll go, Mr. Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Reverend Patrick. Anyone else? Hearing none.
Where's it at?
Say again?
Where is it?
It's going to be in Greensboro.
Greensboro.
Greensboro. for someone that's never gone, it is a lot of meetings. You know, you can learn and meet, fellow board members from across the state. It's an opportunity to, build bridges, to, get to know what others are doing across the state if we've not been. But we need at least 4, but, hearing none, Reverend Patrick, you and I will have it. All right?
Sir, you need a motion to approve.
Yes, I got you.
If you decide to go later on, is that possible too?
No. You thinking about it?
Yeah, I don't know my schedule yet for the day.
Do we need to have, can someone come? Yeah. So if you can, let us know, but right now, we're gonna vote on, do you wanna go ahead and get in the vote, or you want to? All right, I need a motion to approve, the delegates from Union County Public Schools, Board of Education for the upcoming North Carolina School Board Association meeting. Reverend Kirkpatrick, Mr. Matt Helms, and, Reverend Benson Senior. All in favor of those, need a motion for that? Someone want a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All right, we're on the ticket. And you can let us know. All right, thank you. We're now in the hands of our,
Yes,
Morris.
good evening, members of the Board of Education.
Morning.
Between, on the policies for, review, we have 3 policies. 2 of them are revisions and 1 is a proposed new policy. If you have any questions, please let me know.
Any questions?
Thank you.
John? Thank you. Thank you so much. We're now entering, board, comments, and we already have, a request, and Ms. Talbot is going to come and share, that information. Thank you so much. And it looks great, by the way.
Good evening again.
Good evening.
To answer the question, our team has spent $5,955 on the rebrand. We did not hire a firm outside. Our team did all of this work. We have a very talented graphic designer and communications team. A lot of other districts and other counties do hire firms that cost hundreds of thousands of dollars to do this work. And so we have only spent $5,955.92.
Thank you.
Since you kind of started this off, did you have any additional board comments?
No, I just wanted to know. I was curious myself.
Great question.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Board comments? No comments? Well, let me just say another part of that question was the why. And that is a question that I asked when this process began. And one of the reasons is that just think about when you're out there, you know, different people changing their design. And in our case, we wanted to make sure that we're moving forward. We're very progressive school district from the standpoint of innovation. And we do have some talented people, and they looked around and they saw where they could make improvements to our logo. And they took a while, but they got it done. And let's give them a hand for the great work they're doing. We'll now go into our announcements, unless anybody else had comments. All right. Oh, one last thing. I got a little pink tonight because of breast cancer. This is October and breast cancer awareness. We want to make sure that we're thinking about those that have to, you know, deal with those situations. So let us be grateful for survivors and those that are going through. And I see that Mr. Todd has on some pink too. Oh my goodness! Y'all may not have heard, but said, yeah. So there were several of us that thought about it, and y'all say men don't think about stuff. We're not going to have our announcements.
Finance meets the 21st at 8 o'clock via Zoom.
policy will not meet this month.
The Strategic Planning, Information Technology, and Transportation Committee meeting, also known as SPIT, is scheduled to meet October 22nd at 8 a.m., and that is if needed.
Facilities will follow on October 22nd at 9 a.m. and then curriculum at 10 a.m. All via Zoom.
Anything else? All right. Motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?